I am standing before you today with trembling hands, not because I am afraid of you, but because every time I open my mouth to tell this story, I become that little boy again. Look at me carefully. You see an old man with white hair and slow steps, but inside me, there is still a 10-year-old child who once stood at the edge of a road, holding a small nylon bag, wondering why life was so cruel. I was 10 years old when my childhood ended. 10. At that age, a child should be chasing butterflies, fighting over toys, crying because of homework. But I was crying because of hunger. My father had fallen sick, the kind of sickness that doesn't just attack the body, it attacks hope. He could no longer work. My mother tried everything. She sold vegetables. She washed clothes for people. She borrowed money. But poverty is a stubborn enemy. Many nights we slept without food. My younger siblings would cry until their voices became weak. I would pretend I wasn't hungry so they could eat the little we had. Sometimes I would go outside and drink water until my stomach felt full. One morning, before the sun rose, my mother woke me up. I remember the cold air touching my skin. I remember her sitting beside me quietly before speaking. Her voice was shaking. She said, "My son, you are strong. You are wise. You are the hope of this family." I was proud when she said that. I thought she was praising me. But then she said, "You will go and serve in a rich man's house. They promised to help you. They promised to send you to school. You will become somebody." I did not understand everything. I only saw tears rolling down her face. My mother was not a woman who cried easily. When we arrived at that house, it looked like a palace to me. Big gate, tall building, shiny floors. I had never seen such a place. I thought my life had changed. The man and his wife spoke sweetly to my mother. "We will take care of him. We will treat him like our son. We will give him education." Those words were like music to my ears. But the moment my mother walked out of that gate, and the gate closed, the sweetness disappeared. That night, they showed me where I would sleep. It was not a room. It was a small space on the kitchen floor. No mattress, no pillow, just a thin mat. I lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to strange sounds in a strange house. I covered my mouth so they would not hear me cry. I whispered, "Mama, Mama," but she could not hear me. The next morning, my real life began. I woke up before everyone. I swept the compound. I washed plates taller than me. I fetched water from a far distance. I scrubbed toilets. I washed clothes until my fingers wrinkled. If I was slow, they shouted. If I broke anything, they beat me. If food remained after everyone had eaten, I ate. If nothing remained, I slept hungry. Their children were my age, sometimes even younger. Every morning, they wore neat uniforms. I helped them polish their shoes. I carried their school bags to the car, and as they drove away, I would stand at the gate and watch. I wanted to go with them. I wanted to sit in a classroom. I wanted to hold a pencil. One day, I gathered courage and asked the woman, "Ma, when will I start school?" She looked at me like I had insulted her. "School," she said. "Who will do the work if you go to school? Stop dreaming and go wash the clothes." That day, something inside me broke. Years passed. Not 1 year, not 2, many years. I grew taller. My voice became deeper. My hands became strong. But my heart remained wounded. There were days I was beaten so badly that I could not lift my arms. There were nights I cried until sleep forced my eyes closed. I felt invisible, like I did not matter. Sometimes I would look at myself in the mirror and ask, "Am I really human?" I missed my family, but I was not allowed to visit. They said transport money was too much. They said I should focus on work. I kept believing one thing. One day, they would remember their promise. One day, they would help me. When I was almost a man, I gathered all my courage. My hands were shaking when I stood before the master of the house. "Sir," I said softly, "I have served you since I was a child. Please, I want to start my own life now. Even if it is small help, I will be grateful." He looked at me. He did not see a young man who had sacrificed his childhood. He saw a servant. He laughed. That laugh, I can still hear today. He said, "Help you for what? Did we not feed you? Did we not give you a place to sleep? What did you bring when you came here?" I was silent. He answered his own question. "Nothing. So, you will leave with nothing." I thought he was angry, and would calm down later. But no. They packed my few clothes in a small nylon bag, the same type of bag I came with when I was 10. They opened the gate and told me to leave. No money, no gift, no education, no skill. Just years of pain. I stood outside that gate for a long time. I kept waiting for someone to call me back. Nobody did. The gate closed, and that sound felt like the final door of my childhood slamming shut. I began to walk. I did not know where I was going. The sun was hot. My throat was dry. My heart was heavy. As evening came, fear entered me. I had nowhere to sleep. I had no one to call. I had nothing. That night, I slept by the roadside. Cars passed. People walked by. Some looked at me with pity. Some ignored me. I curled my body on the bare ground and cried like that 10-year-old boy again. I cried for the lost years. I cried for the promises that were never kept. I cried for the child who wanted to go to school. I cried until I had no more tears. And then something changed. As I lay there staring at the dark sky, I realized something. They took my childhood. They took my strength. They took my years. But they did not take my life. And as long as I was alive, my story was not finished. That night, I made a promise. I said, I may be leaving empty today, but I will not die empty. One day my hands will carry something. One day, I will build something. One day, I will help children who are suffering like I did. It was not easy. I suffered. I struggled. I worked small jobs. I carried loads in the market. I slept in unfinished buildings. I faced rejection again and again. But every time I wanted to give up, I remembered that small boy on the kitchen floor. I remembered the hunger. I remembered the laughter of that man. And I kept moving. Today, as I stand before you, I am not here because life was kind to me. I am here because pain refused to defeat me. If you feel rejected, if you have been used, if someone has laughed at your dreams, if you have been sent away empty, listen to this old man. Being sent away empty does not mean you are empty. Sometimes, life removes you from a place not to destroy you, but to force you to discover your strength. That 10-year-old boy who slept on the kitchen floor, that boy who watched other children go to school, that boy who was chased away with nothing, he is still inside me. But today, he is no longer crying. Today, he is standing tall. And if I could survive that, then you, my children, you can survive your storm too.
Please don't leave without clicking the subscribe button. Thank you. Bye.